Hi there, and welcome to this video on GCSE Biology for the AQA specification, focusing on the topic of communicable diseases and in particular viral diseases. I'm Shumina from StudyMind, where we help you revise GCSE Biology with our helpful video tutorials, tailored to your subject, your specification, and to you. If you're new here, make sure you click the subscribe button. Whilst you are watching, please leave any comments below if you're unsure about anything, and let us know if it's your first time watching our videos so we can send you our free revision materials. We also have helpful timestamps below for each part of the video to help guide you through the specification. So let's get started.
Hello and welcome to tutorial 2 of 9 on communicable diseases, and today we're going to be looking at viral diseases. So, today we'll be looking at 3 different types of viral infections. First of all, we'll have a look at measles, then we'll move on to HIV, and then lastly we'll look at a viral disease of plants, which is tobacco mosaic virus here. So, first of all, measles. So measles is a viral infection that's caused by the measles virus. So that's the name of the actual virus. And measles is spread through the air by droplet infection, which means that it's spread through the air in droplets. So, when you sneeze or cough, little droplets of your spit may fly and land elsewhere. And these droplets of saliva will carry the measles virus. So symptoms include a red rash, high fever, and small white spots in the mouth. So when you have clear symptoms like this is something that you can clearly remember as 3 separate points. 3 of the symptoms include a red rash, high fever, and small white spots in the mouth. So complications of measles can actually lead to brain infections, such as encephalitis, which means inflammation of the brain. So this isn't a word that you need to remember, but perhaps it could help in impressing the examiners. Encephalitis. So encephalitis means inflammation of the brain. So this can be fatal. But deaths from measles have actually been falling due to the increased use of vaccinations against the disease. So most children are vaccinated against measles in the MMR vaccine, and deaths from measles have been falling since this MMR vaccine introduction. And MMR stands for mumps, measles, and rubella. So we've been over this. The complications of measles can include brain infections, such as encephalitis. Vaccination has helped in defending against measles and has led to a decrease in deaths. And next we'll move on to looking at the virus HIV. So HIV stands for Human Immunodeficiency Virus, and the key is in its name. So if you have a look at what it's actually called, Human Immunodeficiency Virus. Immunodeficiency. So what this word is telling us is that there's a deficiency in the immune system. So when you can't, if you see the word HIV in an exam and you can't quite remember what it means, then just think back and think, well, let's break down what it stands for. It stands for Human Immunodeficiency Virus. And what does immunodeficiency mean? It means deficient in immune. So that's perfect. That tells you what HIV actually does. So going back to this, the HIV virus launches an attack on the body's immune system and weakens it to pathogens. So it attacks our immune system. And normally our immune system has functions that allow our body to respond quickly to foreign pathogens and defeat them. And it can do that by engulfing pathogens, so literally eating pathogens, or by producing antibodies. And there are also other mechanisms by which it can protect us. But the HIV virus actually comes in and stops the immune system from working. So if you cut out the immune system, then you're not going to have these mechanisms over here to protect your body. So, in HIV sufferers, the body's ability to produce antibodies is slower, which leaves the patient more susceptible to getting disease. So early symptoms of HIV include standard flu-like symptoms, but over time the disease progresses to form AIDS, which stands for Acquired Immune Deficiency Syndrome. And this is where the body's immunity becomes so weak that it just can't cope with any foreign pathogen. And so it's patients with AIDS that are so susceptible to many diseases. So these patients would have to take extra precautions to avoid infection from other diseases, because any disease that they get infected with, their body will be very, very bad at fighting. And so even a common cold could be life-threatening to an HIV sufferer. So how is HIV spread? Well, it's spread via body fluids, and so we can focus all of our HIV prevention onto this. So therefore, sharing needles between drug users can lead to the spread of HIV. So also unprotected sexual intercourse can lead to HIV, so the use of protection during sex using condoms can help prevent it. And also the mixing of blood. So, when someone is bleeding and if you have an open sore and if their blood gets into your open sore, then that can also lead to the spread of HIV. So any mixing of body fluids threatens us to the spread of HIV. So during HIV, you actually get what the virus does is it infects a certain type of immune cell, which is the CD4 T cell. It's a type of T cell in the body, but don't worry too much about that. And so it infects our immune cells and therefore kills our immune cells. So therefore, over time, as time increases, so this is time here, you're going to get an increase in the number of virus particles, and you're going to get a decrease in the number of CD4 T cells, which are our immune cells. So you can see here, we start off with many CD4 T cells before HIV infection and no virus particles. But by the time we get here, we have many, many more virus particles and we have hardly any CD4 T cells. So treatment-wise, there's actually no vaccine or cure for HIV. But we do have some really, really good drugs that can help control HIV. So basically, it has increased the lifespan of people infected with HIV, but it does not mean that they have been cured. And these are called antiretroviral drugs. And we call them retroviral, antiretroviral, because HIV is a retrovirus. Okay? And as I mentioned earlier, extra precautions should also be taken by HIV patients to avoid infection from disease because their immune system is so weak. And remember, to prevent it, we're going to need to stop spread by bodily fluids. So that can mean contraceptives to stop bodily fluids during sex mixing, hygienic needle use between drug users, so don't share the same needle, and also covering any open wounds. This is especially important for medical professionals, for example, so for doctors, because they'll be exposed to patients' blood a lot, and in particular, doctors have to make sure that they cover any open wounds, so that just in case they do get splashed by a patient's blood, they're not at risk of contracting HIV. Right, now let's go and look at a plant virus. So the tobacco Mosaic virus infects tobacco, unsurprisingly, and lots of other closely related species, so species such as tomatoes and peppers. And the mechanism of infection is that it infects chloroplasts. So remember, chloroplasts are these green structures over here. That's your chloroplast. and they contain a green pigment known as chlorophyll. And so the virus infects chloroplasts and turns the plants yellow. So it must kind of destroy this chlorophyll in some way. The plants are turning yellow because the chlorophyll is what gives the plants their green colour. And it can also make leaves crinkle or curl up. So on the whole, this means that the chloroplasts are destroyed, which are the main site of photosynthesis, and it also means that there's less surface area for light absorption because the leaves are crinkling or curling up. So overall, the plant's ability to photosynthesize is much lower, and therefore to grow as well. It won't be very good at growing without photosynthesis. So what does this mean on a larger economical scale? Well, the crop yield for farmers is reduced. So as I said earlier, there's this characteristic yellowing of it's like a mosaic like yellowing, hence the name tobacco mosaic virus up here. And that's because of the chloroplasts turning yellow, and therefore sections of the plant will no longer be green. So tobacco mosaic virus can be spread by plants touching one another, or even by farmers touching one infected plant and spreading it to the next. So to prevent infection, we stop plants from touching each other, so therefore remove any plants that have been infected from the vicinity of other plants, and also wash hands in between planting. And this is all to maximise your crop yields, and that's actually really important in the farming industry. And just notice this in this picture, this characteristic mosaic like yellowing. And in your exam, they might actually, as a cheeky one marker, they might show you this picture and ask you what kind of virus this is, or ask you a really short question about it. And if you recognise the mosaic-like yellowing that you can see here, you'll know that it's tobacco mosaic virus. And this is quite a common way for examiners to just ask you really easy one-mark questions. But if you haven't seen this photo before, it might be quite hard for you to come up with the answer. So that's what I just said there. There are often these cheeky one-mark questions where they might show you a picture. So do take that into mind. And that's all for today. So we've looked at measles and HIV, 2 human viral infections, and we've also looked at tobacco mosaic virus, which is an example of a plant viral infection. And that's all for today, and I'll see you for the next session. Thank you very much.
Thanks for watching this free video from StudyMind. If you liked this video, make sure to subscribe to catch our newest videos by clicking below, and leave a comment on a topic you'd like a video on. Click here to watch more videos in our series for GCSE Biology, or visit our website studymind.co.uk for free past paper compilations by topic and specification.